All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most genuinely baffling, unsolved mysteries in modern American criminal history. This isn't just your standard missing persons case. It's a perfectly documented puzzle that literally defies logic. We're going to break down the timelines, the evidence, and the absolute impossibility of what went down in the deep woods of Blackwood, Montana. So if you're ready to dissect a truly unsolvable mystery, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get right into it. Now, I want you to put yourself right in the shoes of a 911 dispatcher. It's a freezing cold evening, October 14th, 2019. The dispatcher on duty, Emily Carter, picks up a call. But there's no screaming, there's no frantic plea for help. Instead, it's just a frightened man whispering these exact words. "If this call disconnects, don't come looking for me." And before Emily can even get a single word out, before she can ask his name or where he is, the line just goes totally dead. Okay, let's dive right into part one, the 2019 dispatch call and a trace to nowhere. Authorities traced that call in literally minutes. They're expecting an active, chaotic crime scene at this abandoned farmhouse just outside Blackwood. But when they kick the door in, nothing. It's completely barren. Well, except for three very specific items left behind: an old tape recorder, a broken flashlight, and one single set of muddy footprints leading straight out the back door into the dense dark forest. And that was it. No signs of a struggle, no victim, just this eerie little breadcrumb trail leading to absolutely nowhere. Now, you might be thinking, well, they have footprints, right? Just follow them. And honestly, that's exactly what they tried to do. But look at the sheer scale of this operation. Step one, they did massive grid-by-grid sweeps of the forest. Step two, they deployed advanced thermal and visual drones right over the canopy. Step three, they brought in canine units to track scents for miles deep into the wilderness. And step four, they even had dive teams searching the local rivers. I mean, they threw every single modern search method at this over thousands of acres, and absolutely nothing was found. It's like the caller literally evaporated into thin air. But wait, remember that old tape recorder they found on the floor? Forensic analysts took that straight back to the lab. And what they pulled off that tape completely derailed the investigation. There were no sounds of a struggle. Instead, the audio just captured this heavy, deliberate breathing, then the distinct, slow creak of footsteps walking across those wooden farmhouse floors. And then, an unknown, terrifyingly calm voice says just three words: "You're too late." A few seconds later, the recording just stops. Let's move on to part two, the 15-year pattern and a history of disappearances. To really wrap our heads around this case, detectives had to zoom out. They started digging through regional archives and realized something horrifying. The scope of this mystery is exactly four human beings. You see, three other people had vanished from this exact same stretch of forest over the previous 15 years. And the connective tissue between all of them? That's what makes this so incredibly unsettling. Just like our 2019 caller, those three prior victims each made a final cryptic phone call right before disappearing forever. 4 calls, 4 vanished people, 0 answers. When we actually map out these random gaps in time, this super chilling timeline emerges. Okay, so we've got the first 3 disappearances scattered over 15 years ago. Then there's this massive gap of silence until the October 14th, 2019 dispatch call. And then another event exactly 5 years later. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't even a coincidence. A retired detective was looking at this exact timeline and realized that despite all the years separating them, every single case shared one incredibly specific, repeating element that literally everyone else missed. October 14th. Every single one of these disappearances went down on this exact date. I mean, just imagine being a local living in Blackwood. As the leaves change and it starts getting cold, this date isn't just a day on the calendar anymore. It hangs over the whole town like a dark cloud. It's basically a character in the story itself. The mounting dread as October 14th rolls around, knowing the dark history of those woods, has fundamentally rewired the psychology of that entire community. Let's see how this builds in part 3, the live stream disappearance 5 years later. You know, human curiosity is a pretty powerful, sometimes dangerous thing. 5 years after that 911 call, an independent filmmaker decided to return to that exact same farmhouse to investigate, and he's live streaming the whole thing to thousands of viewers. At first, it's nothing, just dust and dead silence. But then, in real time, everyone watched the terror actually unfold. Out of nowhere, the camera violently shakes. This massive, deafening crash echoes through the house's audio feed. And then, the video just freezes. The stream cuts to black, instantly dropping thousands of live witnesses offline in a single second. Obviously, viewers immediately flooded the 911 lines. Police rush out to the scene again. But what they found, or I guess what they didn't find, was chilling. They found the camera just sitting on the floor, still actively recording an empty room. But the filmmaker, completely gone without a trace. It is this terrifying clash of modern tech and remote wilderness danger. Think about it. Even with thousands of digital eyes watching him live, in a completely connected world, the guy just vanished without leaving a single piece of physical evidence behind. So the crucial point is Part 4, Theories and Unsolved Legacy. No arrests, no bodies. So what does this all mean, and where does that leave us today? Well, despite the massive public attention, thousands of live witnesses to that last disappearance, and literally decades of police work, the ledger is still completely blank. To this day, 0 arrests have been made, and tragically, no bodies have ever been found. When you dig into the official case files, the main theories basically split into 2 distinct camps. On one side, you've got pragmatic investigators who believe this is absolutely the work of a highly methodical, super patient human predator, like a serial killer who just knows how to use the vast, unforgiving Montana wilderness to hide their tracks. But on the other hand, there are those who look at the impossible lack of evidence, the bizarre phone calls, and the strict adherence to October 14th, and they argue that the truth is something else entirely. Something hidden out there beyond the trees that just completely defies conventional criminal profiling. Which brings us to arguably the most chilling piece of local lore to come out of the source material. It's said that every single year, on October 14th, the locals of Blackwood completely refuse to go anywhere near that old property, because as the sun goes down, if you stand just close enough to the tree line, they swear you can hear the distinct muffled sound of a phone ringing from inside the empty house. So I'm going to leave you with this thought as we wrap up this explainer. If the house is completely empty and the victims are all gone, who exactly is calling? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.